Hey everybody, welcome to Willis Outdoors. I'm Jim Willis. Well, January has finally made it to the upper Midwest, and deer hunting is kind of on the back burner now. There's still a few weeks left to that, but I think all of us have one thing in common. We're concentrating on ice fishing. Now, last year wasn't the greatest year for ice fishing, as a lot of you can remember. It record warm temperatures all year. Really, the ice that we made in the early part of last season, on the Winnebago system at least, just totally went to crap. Even the sturgeon spearing wasn't too eventful because the ice just wasn't safe. So if you really wanted to get out and hit the ice, the safest way to do that, I found last year, was to head north. And when I think of ice fishing, other than the Winnebago system, I can't help but to think of Lake of the Woods up in Baudette, Minnesota. Now, Lake of the Woods is a boundary water between northern Minnesota and Canada. So you got the Canadian side and you got the American side. It is a premier walleye lake. Some of the best sauger fishing that I've ever seen. We had a chance to go up there this past winter, and I took it because really we did, like I said, we didn't have much for ice fishing. So I jumped all over that opportunity when I got called to go up there. And we headed up with a group called Memories Made Outdoors. Now, Memories Made Outdoors is a veterans organization that strives to get veterans and first responders back out into the wilderness and just get them out of the house, get them off the couch, and get them out to have fun. So we joined up with them and some other outdoors journalists from AGLOW, which is the Association for Great Lakes Outdoors Writers. Check them out too. A lot of great content coming from a lot of the writers, the journalists, and the content creators up in AGLOW. But it was a great time. So let's take a look back at last winter up in Lake of the Woods at Riverbend Resort. Today, we are out on Lake of the Woods, Minnesota. Out from Riverbend Resort. We're going to go out with a bunch of guys from AGLOW and Memories Made Outdoors. So Memories Made Outdoors is a veterans organization with its goal in mind is to get veterans out into the outdoors, get them out to enjoy life again. Great organization, look them up. Donate to them, help them, whatever you can do. It's a great organization. We're out here supporting them. We're taking a bunch of veterans out here to some day houses, and we're possibly going to do a sleeper shack later on today. So stay tuned. We should have a lot of good walleye action. Walleye and sauger bite has been really good. We're going to be going for hopefully some eelpout tonight and see what happens. Lake of the Woods, Minnesota. I've been wanting to come up here for a long time. Glad to be up with a bunch of good guys. See what happens.
So I'm using this clams. I hate hearing we're yeah, man, nice little fish. Oh, again, we put a jig head on there, right on that treble hook. Got him like he crushed that thing. You see how far he followed that, Brian?
Yeah.
He followed it all the way up. What do you think? He hit it, what, maybe 10 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this and that.
Yep,
So,
10 feet
wow,
up,
cool.
Oh, he followed it all the way up.
Yeah, so yeah, again, Cast King, rod and reel combo. Really, really great setup we have here. So, cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Now, one thing you can always expect to happen up on Lake of the Woods is you'll have a good time. The fish are always biting. The guys at Riverbend Resort, they really know how to put you on the fish and keep you on the fish. And we had a phenomenal time catching walleye and sauger. But the one thing that really threw me for a loop, because I hadn't really had a chance to catch them too often in my life, was the tulipy. Now, a tulipy is kind of similar to a whitefish, and let me tell you, they were a fun bite to get onto. And when we got out of the shacks for the afternoon, I was quickly reminded on where I was at, as I watched a couple of bald eagles just dancing across the sky above us. So if getting out and watching wildlife is on your to-do list, Lake of the Woods is a definite go-to. So with a bucket full of fish and a head full of memories, we headed back to Riverbend Resort to share some fish stories with all the folks that were out there. You know, I've been to a lot of resorts across the country, done a lot of fishing trips, done a lot of hunting trips, but Riverbend Resort is something special. Their hospitality alone is worth making that reservation and getting up there to Lake of the Woods. You know what, I'm out and I'm ice fishing up on Lake Winnebago. One of the common species we have between Lake Winnebago and Lake of the Woods is the burbot, the eelpout. Now, eelpout is an awesome species. They're fun fighting fish, great to catch, and best yet, they taste delicious. Poor man's lobster, as I've always called them. Now, I sat down with the guides at Lake of the Woods and I had them show me how they go about cleaning this fish, because I know a lot of people don't target these fish, so a lot of people might not be too sure that there's really a couple of different ways and some good and bad ways to clean these fish. So let's take a look at this. This is our guide from Lake of the Woods showing us how they do it. going on here?
So this is what you'd catch for a burbot up here on the Lake of the Woods. They vary in size.
They're also known as eelpout, right?
Yep. Also, yeah, a lot of people call them eelpout. But they vary in a lot of sizes. You can get anywhere from 18 inches all the way up to 33 I've seen. So usually, typically, the bigger ones we like to clean. The smaller ones are a little bit tougher to clean. But so I'm going to go through and show you guys how I do it here, and then I'll show you another way that we do it too up here.
Cool.
So with this, I just cut back behind the head where the fins are, the side fins. Then I come back here down to the back, and there's like a little slit right in here with the fins that I just cut right in between. And then I just tell customers it's pretty much like taking back strap off of a deer. You just cut right down the spine. Then when you go down here, you just cut right down the rib cage. And that would be one of your back straps out of the eelpout. And then you just go to the other side and repeat the same process. Typically the reason why we like to do a little bigger one is to get a little better meat off the back of it. And then we got a guy here named Joel, he likes to clean the whole tail meat. So there you have it right there. So that's pretty much what you get. And now I'll take this away and I'll show you the way that Joel cleans them.
Now we got this little guy. We caught this guy last night, so he's a little slimy.
Yeah, and the easiest way to clean these, there are some guys out there that like to clean them when they're still kind of lively, but I prefer having them a little frozen. It's a little easier to deal with.
Meat firms up a little more?
Yep, and it's a lot easier to cut it off the skin that way too. Of course, it's going to give me issues.
That's okay. You're probably doing a lot better job than I probably would have done.
Yeah, we get to clean quite a bit of these actually, and it'll actually start slowing down here towards the end of the month and beginning of March because that's when they go into their spawn period.
Do you got a really high population of these in the area?
So there are a lot of guys now. They're actually talking about making this a game fish. From what I've heard from a couple of game wardens out there, they're trying to figure out a way to do it. But there are a lot of people that come up here and just specifically target these now, just because of how gamey they are and how good they taste. Oh, I gotta take the tail meat off too.
Oh yeah, this was his way, wasn't it?
Yep. So this is Joel's way.
They're typically bigger than that.
If you get a really big one, you'll get a nice fillet out the back.
Oh, not really nice fillets.
Joel's another one of our guides up here. He does a lot of the housework for us. When we have issues out there, we call him. He's our right-hand man out there.
No, we got a lot of these on the Winnebago system, and not a lot of people really target these fish.
Yep.
But the meat is actually really, really good on them. Compared to a poor man's lobster, it's got a really firm, white texture to it, almost meat-like sometimes.
And so there's a lot of people that might not like the shellfish, like the lobster or whatever taste of that. And I actually found out a really good way of cooking it, and I boil mine in salt water. And it tastes like freshwater cod. And of course you gotta dip it in butter. So now just this process, we're just taking it right off the skin. So I've cleaned eelpout from the 18-inch range all the way up to the 33-inch range. And typically with your bigger eelpout, you do get a lot thicker of a meat cut off that. I mean, if you can't tell, that's about average for your meat that you get off of one. But yeah, when you get into those bigger, those 28s, 29s, and those 30s, you just get a lot more meat off of them. And it's crazy to think that a fish like that tastes that good, you know?
Oh, most definitely. A huge shout out to Paul and Brandy Johnson from Riverbend Resort for hosting our group from Aglow. And I'd also like to thank Memories Made Outdoors for spending the day with us on the ice. I can guarantee you this winter I'll be back up at Lake of the Woods. There's nothing going to keep me back out of there. Awesome place to fish, awesome place to visit year round. Check it out, Riverbend Resort. I'll see you there.